Alrighty, so welcome in, gang. I guess I'll just turn this off for a second because Kala isn't with us right now. But yeah, welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for the peeps that have arrived early in the chat. Um, Today is the reason that me and Kala are gonna go live together and kind of chat about what's happening, is because today is Electronic Arts' earnings call. So this little thingy down here, they're gonna be going live at 2, so in about an hour. So yeah, we're gonna see. I don't know, like obviously they're gonna be talking a lot about financial stuff, revenue stuff, but you never know. We could get some details on maybe even just an update when we'll hear about something next about Mass Effect. Like we just don't know. So yeah, that's kind of what is going on. Um and besides for that, I think the only things that me and Kala are going to discuss is obviously the major news with the BioWare staff getting slashed by EA, with the entire writing and editing staff kind of being let go, and kind of where BioWare is going to stand with that, as well as where I guess the next Mass Effect is at and general speculation and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what we're gonna do here. Let me go join the chat with Kala, and we will go from there.
Have to do for now. Okay. So again, I think there's about 80 people left at BioWare right now, less than 100, and the entire studio is working on Mass Effect. The studio is now led by BioWare veterans working on Mass Effect 5, Michael and his team. And in one of the articles, they did say that more layoffs were coming. So I'm really not sure what the future of BioWare is going to look like. And I have been a pretty optimistic person kind of following BioWare and Mass Effect. I feel like I've made several videos where I'm like, oh, the future of Mass Effect, the future of BioWare. But I think this time has deflated my balloon quite a bit.
Better
So I'm
God.
really not sure what to think of everything. How are you guys feeling? I asked what people were feeling on Twitter, and the results were pretty mixed. Some people are optimistic, some people are pessimistic, some people have given up all hope. But what are you guys feeling about Mass Effect 5?
Also, hi Kala, I am back. Don't know if you can hear me.
Hello?
Hi.
Come back. I was just asking chat how they're
No
feeling
problem.
about Mass Effect 5, knowing everything going on.
Yeah, for sure. I think that I had also posted. I don't know if it was a poll, but I guess I posted about the news with BioWare's staff getting slashed, and it was an interesting mix. I think that some people in my community was like, "This is kind of bad. Like, this is not good," and some others were like, "Maybe this is what BioWare needs to kind of put out that blockbuster title." So yeah, very mixed, but
Yeah,
love to hear what your community thinks.
I think that uh, while I am disheartened that Dragon Age is dead, like, I don't have any hope for Dragon Age. If Dragon Age is ever touched, it will be 10 years from now. Like, there's no way we're seeing Dragon anytime soon. And yeah, so I'm upset about that. Um, do I think that Mass Effect 5 could be more streamlined with a smaller team? Maybe, but it's been really hard following a lot of the people who have been hired at BioWare over the last few years, like Derek Wilkes and Charles E. I don't know if I said his last name right, but um, were moved to other projects, and the the way that it was presented in the article is that they were moved and told that it would be temporary, and then it became permanent. And these are people who were hired and were very excited to be hired at BioWare to work on Mass Effect 5. So I feel very bad for the devs who were already on Mass Effect 5 or were expected to be on Mass Effect 5 or were hired exactly for that. And
Yeah.
now they have to reapply and go through the entire interview process if they want to work at BioWare again. I I can't imagine how terrible that feels. And I feel really bad for the devs because a lot of them were very surprised. Like, it's very clear that on Twitter they're very surprised.
Mhm.
And I just feel bad for them. There are people that wanted to work on Mass Effect 5 who thought they were going to, and now they're not. So I feel very bad for.
I think that the thing that definitely caught me off guard was, I mean, in the actual blog post that nobody was really thanked, there was like you didn't even know. I remember in the Discord, in the massively affected Discord, that we were chatting about it, and for a moment we were like, did they even, like, are they talking about layoffs? Like, there was so much confusion surrounding that. And then once I saw, the people that were getting let go, like Trick Weeks, like I assume John Dombrow as well, on top of like Sylvia Faketa Cootie? Is it Faketa Cootie or Faketa Cuddy?
Sylvia Faketacutie, she left on her own.
Yeah, in December.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
And John Dombrow, he left on his own,
gotcha. Yeah.
as well.
It's just hearing all of these names that are such huge Mass Effect veterans just either leaving or, being let go. It's a huge blow. I think that was the biggest blow so far for the next Mass Effect. Like up until
I
that point it was like, look at this concept art, look at all of these fun trailer thingies, like there wasn't super negative news, but I feel like that was the big blow, that losing those quality of writers for a project that for the next Mass Effect needs to be essentially studio saving. Like everyone was saying, okay, the
Yeah.
Veilguard has to be the one,
I
but
really thought it I really thought Veilguard was gonna be, and I had heard that I had, you know, I'm not talking about anything that I know from the studio, but, the way that people had been reporting on it, like insiders and whatever, the way that they had spoken about it really did make it seem like it was BioWare's last chance. But I think the reality of it is that Mass Effect, even though Dragon Age has in the past sold better, I think not only with Legendary Edition, they saw how many people were still absolutely very interested in this franchise, but also that the long game is to release Mass Effect 5. If you
mhm,
look at the way the BioWare Gear Store operates, it is 75% Mass Effect stuff from a series that released, what, 15 years ago?
mhm.
Like, that finished 15 years ago?
Yeah.
Like, they are still milking the shit out of Mass Effect because they know that it sells. They know that people will buy it. They will. And so, on one hand, yes, I'm very worried about BioWare closing. I think that, say the TV show comes out and it's ass or something, I don't know.
Mhm.
No, that's not necessarily on, that would be more on the studio, but still, I mean, it's still affiliated. But I think the long game that EA is seeing is that Mass Effect is what people really want. And not to give EA credit, even though I'm about to, I do give them credit that they are willing to take the financial loss to make sure that Mass Effect happens. I mean, that's crazy to me.
Mhm.
You know, were Veilguard's sales numbers a bit unrealistic and definitely that high to try and recoup losses? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a, analyst. I watched a video and that's what one of the analysts that I said, and it was a very good video, very like unbiased, just like factual reporting, and that's kind of what he said. But even still, there was almost always going to be a financial loss with how just absolutely fucked Veilguard's development was, and being in development for so long, and they are taking a financial hit to keep the studio open. They're not going to have a game release for the next 4 years minimum.
Yeah, it's 3 years, like bare minimum. If it, like, I think 4 years is more reasonable, which is hilarious because that's the
Yeah, yeah.
2029 Jeff Grubb
Yeah, I mean, that
prediction.
reporting that we got, from yeah, that was Jeff Grubb. Yeah.
2023, I think. Yeah, that
Yeah,
seems
that was a
pretty
while
accurate.
ago. And yeah, it's disheartening, but I really do think that is the truth. Um,
Mhm.
and I think that sucks.
I
Also, I
have
wanted to look at what chat said really quick. Give me
for
one
sure.
second because I asked them what they were all feeling.
Okay, no
Um,
problem. I will also do the same. One sec.
okay. Yeah. Fiery one.
Okay, so yeah, in terms of how you guys feel about the next Mass Effect, I'm actually pretty shocked to be honest. I'm seeing, like 34% positive, 33% negative, and 33% neutral. Like basically a huge split down down each side. Like that's pretty. I feel like you guys are a lot more positive about it than I am. I think you know what, if I had to vote in this poll, I would probably put neutral as well. But I would say last week it was definitely negative. So yeah, it's just it's one of those things where I need to see more of the team, I think, cuz I mean like I said in a lot of my videos, like I think that this next Mass Effect is going to be really ambitious. It's going to be, from what we've seen and from what Gamble has teased, like pretty much a sequel between, you know, the trilogy and Andromeda. We have gotten countless teases about those two things happening. And yeah, I don't know if they have the horses necessarily to pull something like that off. So yeah, I don't know what to feel, so I picked Neutral by Chavi. I feel that. No, yeah, that's true. I'm negative leaning neutral. I feel like maybe that was me. That was me last week for sure. Um MTJ Disorder, welcome on into the chat. I'd be optimistic if they gave us a clear plan, and if they're downsizing the studio, then downsize the game. Avoid any of this grandiose, bigger and better. Yeah, like with Andromeda. I feel like Andromeda was more it was more due to the where the game industry was at the time, like bloated games were very in. And I feel like, just look at like an Astrobot winning game of the year. Like I feel like maybe the industry might look at that and be like, "Oh, hang on, people just want a smaller, you know, more specified game." And that's kind of, I'm hoping that that's kind of where they go, where we don't necessarily need super bloated games. Like just give us a really streamlined story and just make it the best you can be. Like I feel like that's where I'm at as well. Also, John Ford, thank you so much. Love your videos. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to putting out a huge video on kind of my thoughts around how Mass Effect could become a little bit more sustainable, and I feel like that's something I'm looking forward to. Anyway, okay, I'm going to hop back on with Cal because I wanted to ask her a question.
Yeah, someone at EA must be a huge Math fan to give BioWare a last chance. Or maybe even made Math and find out Mass Effect had a better chance to sell with BioWare logo on it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Would people buy Mass Effect if it didn't have a BioWare logo? That's actually an interesting question. I don't think EA would ever give it up, but if they gave it to another studio, I don't know. That's an interesting concept. I don't know. That's interesting. Would you guys buy a Mass Effect game if it was under Motive or just like a standard EA title?
I try
Like,
and
they
clarify
just
that?
had multiple people that they were pulling in?
I
Oh, sorry,
feel
I was
like
asking people.
no, 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 all good. I heard the full question. I
Oh,
just
okay,
wanna
okay.
jump in as well. I feel like people would buy Mass Effect regardless because it's Mass Effect. I don't know. I feel like I had a few comments saying that, they wanted Larian to pick up Mass Effect, you know? So I feel like it Mass Effect is the brand. I don't think necessarily it has to be tied to BioWare, but that's I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna make another poll. I'm gonna make another poll, see what people think.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting question. I think that a lot of people wouldn't even notice that it wasn't under the BioWare title, but I also think people would. I don't know.
I think it's also down to like, the difference between like hardcores versus casuals. Because if the game, like if the franchise of Mass Effect just keeps growing, um, then I feel like the people who played it way back in the 2000s and the 2010s would of course be like, well, this isn't BioWare's Mass Effect, right? Like maybe the elevator jokes might disappear or something, like something that maybe the devs were kind of, holding on to. But I feel like just as a brand, Mass Effect can carry itself. I don't know. Make this poll question.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't ever think we'll see that happen. Like I I think that either BioWare will close or Mass Effect 5 will happen and that's it. Like I don't see Mass Effect being moved elsewhere. Um yeah, I don't really see that happening. I will say though that, another question that has kind of come up with all of these layoffs, with all of these people leaving is this BioWare? Is this actually BioWare?
Mm,
When you have all of the people who have left, when you have all these people, there is not a single veteran writer except Dusty Everman, I believe, and he is the narrative director. He wrote like the things that happen on the Normie with like
mm.
Kelly and Brew, and wrote like interactions there. And now he's moved to narrative director, but I really think he's the only actual writer left from Dragon Age or Mass Effect. So when you have a studio that is so dependent on the devs that were there building this iconic branding and now all of them are gone, is that even the same like is that even
Mm.
BioWare anymore? Is this just a title until they prove themselves with Mass Effect 5?
That is such an intriguing question. I
Like
feel
even like we know Liara is returning, but
yeah,
all of her writers,
I know, gone.
her
I
last writer, Sylvia Fekete, had been for Liara for uh Sylvia Fekete and Brienne Batley both wrote for Liara. They wrote for her in Mass Effect 2, for her in Mass Effect 3, the DLCs, and they're not there anymore. I assumed that they were going to move over to Mass Effect 5 after finishing Dragon Age,
Mhm.
but they're gone. So we have no veteran writers who wrote Shepard, Garrett, Liara, and um, I think that is going to be very interesting to see.
Brienne got moved over to Motive though, right?
Yeah, she's on
I
Iron
think.
Man now.
Yeah, but she would have to reapply to like rejoin the BioWare team, I guess. Yeah, this is an intriguing question, right? Like is it still is it still Mass Effect? Is it still BioWare if the people that were originally a part of it kind of left? I think if BioWare had to try to answer the question, like the BioWare devs there right now, I think that they would say that it still is, just because like even the blog post mentioned about the studio restructuring slash layoffs, there are still veterans there. But I also think it speaks more to just how the industry is as a whole. Like you could probably look at every single studio and say the exact same thing, right? Like just the way that the industry is right now, people are going to be moving through the rotating door. Like the top parent companies that are in charge of smaller studios are just going to be like, oh, you guys released a failed game? Gone, like slash 80 people, 100 people, close the studio entirely, right? So I think it, I would say for the BioWare devs there, they would say that BioWare still is trying to represent what it did in the past. I think for fans, it's definitely shifted. Where I think the average casual fan of a BioWare game would say that the writing has gotten worse and yada yada yada, like whatever you want to say about it. But I also think there's a lot of nuance there where it's like, okay, well, what did EA tell them to do? Like how much did EA interfere with what BioWare is today? Um, and I think if I had to break it down into a nutshell, I would say the BioWare from the past, like let's say Mass Effect and part of Mass Effect 2, there was a lot more creative freedom. And I think that the BioWare now and the Mass Effect now, there's going to be a lot more like creative interference, I guess is how I would put it, by EA. So yeah, I would say it's not the BioWare that people grew up playing with and knew about, but there are still veterans there. And as a result, I think that Mass Effect will have those little, you know, um, like those little Easter eggs that I think that those are there because of the devs that care about it, right? Like I hope we see some elevator jokes and all of those things. But if a new team does come in, like a whole new writing team that is about to come in and maybe they don't want to put those things in there, then I think that people are going to say like, yeah, this feels different. This isn't the Mass Effect and the BioWare that we know.
Yeah, and I think I agree with everything that you're saying. And Mass Effect 5, people that are in leadership positions are veterans. Not, the lead writer, which is Mary DeMarley. Is it DeMarle or
I
DeMarley?
I think it's tomorrow. Um, I think I tried to look this
I
up
feel
in
like I
like
know this
multiple
by
videos.
now. Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
will
I
look it up.
should.
I feel like it's tomorrow just based on my random Canadian French knowledge.
Okay, tomorrow. We have, Mike Gamble. He was a producer for the original trilogy and for Andromeda. We have Derek Watts, who was the art director on the entire trilogy. We have Parrish Lay, who was he did cinematics, and I think he's like the lead cinematic animation person now.
Hmm.
And then, we obviously have Mary Tomorrow. So it's not like Mass Effect being made entirely by different people, but it is really interesting to think about that all of the original writers are gone and we're going to get a Mass Effect game that was written by people who have never, you know, had any writing credit for a Mass Effect game.
Mhm.
Also, Brian, thank you so much for gifting those memberships. That was kind of you. Thank you. Make sure you guys say thank you to Brian if you got one.
Yes, over here as well. I have no idea if it happened over on your chat, but thank you so much, Brian. That was absolutely huge. I also have a comment here, Kala, but I'll let you finish your thought and then somebody
Oh,
dropped
also,
a comment.
Preston Watomniuk is also there. So yeah,
Yes.
there's the core leadership that is on Mass Effect is very prominent. And Mary DeMarle, I have never seen anyone speak badly of her rating. I haven't
Yeah.
played the games. I did buy um Guardians of the Galaxy. I want to experience her writing. I haven't played it yet though, but I've heard that I have not seen anyone say anything bad about her. If anything, I've just seen people be like, "Yeah, we believe in Mass Effect because of her writing." So I'm really hopeful, but I just think it's very interesting, and I wonder if we're going to feel that Mass Effect is essentially getting a fresh perspective.
Mhm. I am curious about that. I mean, I guess we've touched on this a little bit in our previous streams and stuff, but do you think that if the next Mass Effect is a direct sequel between Andromeda and the trilogy, regardless if there's even a time jump, like just if it tries to somehow make sense of both of those stories somehow, do you think that it's going to that these layoffs of the writing and editing team that works on things like the cutscene dialogue, the ambient dialogue, the codex pages, like all of it, that the next Mass Effect is already kind of on its back foot because they kind of let go of those veterans. And like you said, like there's going to be a whole new set of writers on this team that just has not had credits on a BioWare game before or a Mass Effect game.
Yeah, I really don't know what to think, and I have said this several times, and I know that you're going to disagree because different theories about Mass Effect 5,
Yeah.
but to me, them having a brand new team, them having brand new writers specifically, I don't see any way that Shepard returns in context. And I really don't think we're going to get as much, I don't know, maybe connections to the past games as um, we would have gotten if the original team was writing on it.
I know what you
You know
mean.
what I mean?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is my expectation. I think that's why I've been so set that Shepard is not going to return just because even though I mean, I could be totally wrong. Shepard is money. Like
That's it, right?
Shepard sells. Oh, Shepard absolutely sells. Like absolutely sells. And I know people are going to get mad at me for saying that I don't think Shepard's going to return. I'm so sorry. But the reality is also that EA wants money. They may say, "Hey, bring Shepard back." I don't know how involved EA is with this kind of stuff. But yeah, I am both excited to kind of see a new fresh take on Mass Effect, even though we did see that with Andromeda and it didn't really work out. So I am also apprehensive.
Mhm. I think that I'm so curious, right? Because the teases that they've given us have spawned completely different theories, like yours and mine's, that are just completely on the opposite ends of the spectrum. So maybe they easily could have been planning like a 2190, and then all of their writers get let go, and they could easily just switch it up on us, right? And we would just never really know. Um, but like you mentioned, I think that I really hope they don't change plans, like regardless of what happened, because I think that when you start changing the story, and I assume like since 2020 they had been planning something. Like I know that a lot of people think, oh, they're just, the teases are just they're tossing darts at the dartboard and seeing what sticks for fans, or what resonates with people. I'm hoping that they do have a plan. And I hope that it doesn't they don't change the plan, because I don't know, like regardless of what it is, right? If it's something along the lines of a Shepherd coming back versus not, or whatever. Um I think they just have to I think that's why I want more details. Like I want more details concretely so that they almost can't change their plans. Like either tell us outright that Shepherd is coming back or not. And yeah, I personally think that it's so confusing with what happened with the layoffs, because I think, based on that original trailer way back during the Game Awards, that they were planning on bringing Shepard back. And I think that EA might actually be not shutting BioWare down because they know it's money, because they see all of the merch being bought up right away, and just everybody still buying the Mass Effect brand years after its latest. Like we're almost going to be approaching a decade since its newest release. So, yeah, I don't know. I think if I had to say anything on it, I would say that it might almost solidify Shepard coming back. because EA wants to make bank. Um, yeah, but again, let's put it this way. I think that if BioWare needs a studio saving game, I think Shepard has to come back. Like, let's put it that way. I don't think that a new protagonist would save the studio. Like, to put it bluntly, I don't think that the casuals are gonna care about a new protagonist, because it might turn into another Andromeda, and that would sink the studio. So yeah, I just wanted to get to this one question really quickly. Um, Roxanne Wheatley
I
asks, could it be that BioWare wants to roll back any recent policies due to Veilguard's failure causing those firings? Like that's kind of what we've been talking about. Like, are they going to take this kind of, I don't know, pre-production period, I guess, to rethink how they do things? I would say rocks, like, potentially. Like that's kind of my thoughts on it. But what do you think, Kala?
Yeah, I don't know how much what's going on has impacted the Mass Effect game. Like, as far as if their story direction changed, if their scope changed. Um, and I don't think we're ever gonna know, and I don't think we're gonna find out for a long time. Um, I think that we're also in a position right now where we see proof of life of the game. They showed us that trailer in 2023, which was pretty big. Um, Now with everything going on and so many people being skeptical, I think this is the year they have to go all out. Um, Especially on 7 day. Also, I'm gonna go grab my other mic, but I have to go into my garage.
Okay,
Because
no
people are
problem.
saying my mic is cutting out. I can't
I'm
hear it.
hearing people are saying my mic's weird as well.
Oh my god.
So I don't
I'm
know,
gonna
we're
go
having
grab
mic
my other
problems.
mic. Go take the reins for like 5 minutes. I will be right
No
back.
problem. I'm so sorry, Kala's chat. I can't see your chat because I'm live as well. So I apologize. But I'm really happy to be taking the reins here. Your mic is fine on my end. Skipping here. Okay, I think it's because I'm moving my head around. I have this really bad habit of when I'm talking, I'm literally moving my hands and stuff. So my bad. I'll just stay directly in front of the mic. Um, but yeah, what do you guys think in terms of, like, I don't know. Let me scroll up and read some of the stuff that you guys have been saying. I guess somebody tagged me in something. One moment, I am checking this. RP Games says, is the Shepard Survives ending of Mass Effect 3 only available after they patched in the third option? So, RP Games, I don't like, even since the 2012 edition when Mass Effect 3 first released, Shepard's breath scene, I believe, was always in there. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I was a Legendary Edition person. I joined after 2021, so I'm pretty sure. Um, so yeah, I'm they didn't, like, see the backlash of all the fans being like, wait, Shepard's dead, how dare you, and then patch in a scene where they survive after the fact. Like, it was always in there. And if you read the original note, I think I put it in a video at somewhere at some point. Um, if you read the original note that Mac Walters wrote up for the endings, because it essentially, the endings were created by Mac Walters and Casey Hudson, like, in a closed room. Like, none of the other writers were allowed to touch the endings, which honestly, again, I have a video that's going to come out soon that discusses that. But yeah, Mac Walters did decide that in the Destroy ending, Shepard would survive. But in the other ones, that Shepard would be dead. I'm pretty sure. Um, okay, yeah. Let me just see what else. Please let me know if I missed any comments here. If you have been, uh, yeah, just let me know if I missed anything. Just tag me so I can see the question. Games of these sizes typically require extremely lengthy pre-production periods. They have a plan and are filing out. Yeah, I'm hoping, but at the same time, I feel like the more time you can spend in pre-production, the more you might start to overthink it. Um, Obviously, like, they haven't had a solid stretch of time where they've had uninterrupted pre-production, so I totally get that. I just don't want them to overthink it. Because I guess, just speaking on a much smaller scale, like, when I'm spending a long time on a video, like, in the scripting phase, I can easily start to overthink it if I don't just decide to record. I'm sure like anyone has felt that, right? Like if you're writing like an essay for school or what have you, right, for work, if you need to write something up or do a presentation, you're going to overthink it the more time you have with it, and I just hope that that doesn't happen. Um
I'm back.
okay, hello.
Sorry,
Switched out
continue
the
your
mic.
thought though.
No. I was just saying, like in terms of pre-production stuff, I was curious, I guess your thoughts as well, Kala. Like, do you think that because it obviously still is in pre-production, um, do you think that there could be a chance of either we've already kind of discussed like, potentially changing the plan or what have you, but do you think they could overthink it or I don't know, maybe change up what they were originally going to do? Um yeah, I don't know. What do you think
I
about the whole pre-production phase continuing, I guess, is the question.
first I have two things I want to say thank you for. Let me look at my chat really quick.
No problem.
Um Nip Pondering, thank you for the $10. Nip Pondering says, "Boo Shep for life." I know, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I got a
Listen,
few boos in here when you were like, I don't think Shepard's coming back. And I was like, you're
I
getting
know.
booed
People
over
get
here.
so mad at me. I know. And listen, do I want Shepard back? Yes, but it would have to be the exact same Shepard that was in the original trilogy, and I just don't know if they can do that again. That's where my hang up is. I don't want Shepard to return just to return if it's not going to capture the same Shepard that we all know. Also, I think there's a whole mess of like canonizing people's choices and, um yeah, I think it's just a dangerous game to bring Shepard back. Um and Brian Nichols, thank you for the $20. And Brian says, once again, Shepard needs to save the Mass Effect universe. I hope they can bring back some devs. Voice talent, Mary gives me hope. Her writing is so fan focused. I was thinking about this, and uh, we'll return to what you were talking about really quickly.
No problem.
I just want to say this. Something that I also worry about with BioWare is they're in the pre-production phase. Oh, also, if my mic, I changed the cord on my mic to see if that would be okay. If it
I'll
does
let
cut
you
out,
know.
let me know and replace the actual mic itself.
I'll let you know. You sound great.
Okay. But would you want to work at BioWare seeing how consistently they have made layoffs with, watching them move devs over and then being like, oh, surprise, it's not temporary, it's actually permanent, and you're not a BioWare employee anymore? If you want to return, you have to apply like you didn't just work here. Like, has BioWare even cultivated the type of space and working environment that will attract the type of devs that Mass Effect 5 needs? That is something that I think about because they do not have a lot of confidence in the fan base right now. And I can't imagine being like a dev and like applying to work at BioWare and being like, well, shit, maybe I'll get to work on, Mass Effect 5, this game that I really want to work on. And, or maybe I'll get moved to another EA title, which literally just happened to several devs who have been hired to Mass Effect 5 in the last few years. So, like, are they even going to get the talent that they need? I don't know. I think it's hard to watch what's going on with at BioWare and look at it from like a developer perspective and, you know, think if they can get the people that they want that they probably need when they do ramp up production. I mean, I assume when they move into production they'll start hiring more people, but again, would you want to work at watching all of the layoffs that have been happening for several years consistently?
Mhm. I think that probably not, right? And I definitely want to get to that point. I just wanted to, Brian over here also gifted the $20. Thank you so much, Brian. Shepard for the win again in the BioWare universe. I'm so here for that. But yeah, to the point, Kala, like I made a note that I wanted to ask you, which I guess like you kind of answered there. A lot of people, after I made the video on, okay, this is it, like the sky is falling, all the BioWare writers are now gone, and a few commenters were like, this is actually a good thing. You know, the writing was the issue, and I think they're going to bring in new writers, and that's going to make the next Mass Effect better. But like you said, one, who is going to want to work there? You know, like which writer is going to see that and be like, oh yeah, like this is my chance to fix BioWare. And you know, like again, like the next Mass Effect needs to be a studio saving game. Would a new writer that's just coming out of, you know, like that just got their degree wanting to do some work in the industry gonna look at that and say, yeah, that's definitely what I want to work on for my first project? And two, I think that EA, there's definitely an element of EA let go of all of those top veteran writers probably because their paychecks were getting kind of high. So are
Yeah,
they
for
going
sure.
to are they going to look at that and say, "Yeah, let's go out there and get just as talented people who deserve that type of money in order to save this franchise?" Like, I don't think so. I think that like if they do, then you can thank Mr. Gamble and Miss Mary Tomorrow because they would have probably said something to the EA execs if that happens where they get like a really top-notch writing team, but I don't see that being the case. Like I think that EA is going to try to find their way to just get the lowest paying, you know, writing and editing squad just because that's how they roll. So yeah, I don't view it as a positive to have all those people let go specifically because of that. Because I think that the writing is going to suffer. Um yeah, and it's really sad. It's sad to think about. I hope that it's not the case and that there are a lot of really talented writers willing to, you know, be snapped up by BioWare, but I just looking at it, like you said, it's not a desirable location right now.
Yeah, no, it's not. Also, I changed my mic, and like holding it like I'm on a podcast or some shit. I feel really weird, like I should be on a stage. Yeah.
You are
Anyways,
on a stage where we're all watching and
apparently
listening.
apparently, but sorry, same mic issue. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is
It's
then.
cutting out a little bit, but the sound quality I think is okay.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm trying. I'll have to. I've been having some weird issues with my computer lately,
I think it's
so
that.
I'll just
I'm
have to. Yeah,
it sounds like a network issue. So, yeah.
yeah. The show must go on. Exactly. Yeah. I think also can they afford to hire the talent that they need. Also, you just mentioned the salaries of the people let go. What do the salaries of the people who were hired or who may be hired also look like? I don't know. I think like Lazaire also that is also kind of the reality of the industry. It doesn't matter if you make a game, doesn't matter if you make a bad game. Studios are always at the risk of being closed down. And I don't think it's a secret that Mass Effect is truly BioWare's last chance. Like, there is no way Mass Effect 5 comes out and it's bad and the studio stays open. There's
Mhm.
not.
No.
There's no way that that would happen. So, you know, working on Mass Effect 5, you'd have to accept that your job is on the line. But again, that's kind of the case for literally every single game industry right now. It is rough out there.
Yeah.
I do hope that when we go to hire people that those people are given a job security than we're seeing with current employees. I mean,
Yeah.
watching people who were laid off has been insane, and we still have, you know, people who were laid off in 2022 that have been suing EA and BioWare
Yeah.
for proper severance packages. Like,
I forgot.
one thing is, yes, I am an avid BioWare fan. I play their games, I love their games, but the developers are always the most important part of the equation there. And if they're being treated like shit, I'm gonna out, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
and we get to a situation where Mass Effect 5 using AI or some stupid shit, generative AI, not
Yep,
like,
yep. Yeah.
standard one. Um, I won't buy it. I won't buy it. I think we're in a very slippery slope right now with the games industry, and I've kind of gotten to the point where I've been following individual developers more than like studios,
Mhm.
and I, like right now, I've been playing Eternal Strands, who was also a studio started by some ex BioWare devs. Like, think it is really important to support individual devs if you like their work, the writer, whatever, versus a studio, especially in today's. I think right now, only two studios that they are like must buys for me
Mhm.
are CD Projekt Red and Larian, just because of watching treat their devs and their studio, and it is just really bad right now. It's depressing to watch the industry kind of fold in itself. I don't know. It's like it's been great seeing Kingdom Come Deliver for me, but cool. It's nice to see a studio lead, even though like I don't want to play it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's right. It is. We're like right at the cusp, I think, of like a shift in the industry, and I can't tell how bad it's going to be. You know?
Yeah. No, I totally get that. You just you're not going to get change until something major happens, right? And it feels like, yeah, it's been going on for what, a solid 3 years now of just constant layoffs, maybe even more than that. And we're gonna hit a breaking point soon. I think we're starting to see a major crack with the EA stock price just tanking, like seeing it affect the markets because of what happened with, their EA Sports FC 25 or whatever, kind of not doing well. So yeah, I think you're bang on. We're gonna see something happen. Um, and who knows if it's for the better. I hope so. I'm joined in the Electronic Arts earnings conference call, and they just kind of they went live. But they're gonna actually like
Okay.
start doing stuff at 2. Yeah. So I just wanted to let you know about that, and it's gonna happen soon. And also over here,
You guys
thank you so much for the $10 Nippondering. Who would work for a sinking ship? Terry Metalis, I think is his name. Picard season 3. You can get recognized in a big way if it works. Yeah, like, but you would need those types of people, right? And I'm not too sure who Terry is. I feel like I I live under a rock when it comes to like TV stuff. But yeah, I think that you need to have those exceptional style people that are willing to take that huge bet, right? Because if you start off in the industry and you're like, yeah, I want to write for BioWare, and then the game and studio closes, are you gonna get hired again? Like, would you do that? It's risky. It's definitely risky.
It is risky, but also I think that it could have like if Mass Effect 5 it would totally change BioWare. It would reverse the studio. It would, fix their reputation. And like, so on one hand, do you want to join a sinking ship? Or do you want to be the captain of a ship that saved and like jobs were
Yeah.
saved, jobs were created? Like,
Hmm.
so like on one hand, yeah, it's risky, but I also think like if they get the right people, they could save BioWare. I mean, it's genuinely like it's, they're going to risk it all. You either got
Yeah.
to save or it closes, and those are literally the only two options. So I think, it's only a matter of time. And we saw the trailer in 2020 because that was proof of life. And games that show trailers really early on, part of the reason why they do that is so that they can attract developers. It's not just to show proof of life to the, fandom, to investors, it's to attract developers.
Yeah.
And Mark Dara has literally spoken about that's part of why that 2020 trailer exists. even though not much work has been done on Mass Effect. It attracted Mary Tomorrow. So
Mhm.
I expect something like that in the next year or so. When they move into production, I expect another big showing to be like, hey, you want to work on Mass Effect? Look how cool this game is that we're making. Come join us. I fully expect something like that. And maybe even sorry, I'm like moving my mic. I keep forgetting I'm holding it. Maybe this year we have the Mass Effect TV show that they still have eyes the writers. So that hasn't officially been greenlit technically. And with that, they have to finalize, they have to do the cast, they have to make the announcements. I'm sure there will be leaks kind of like what the show is about. And then I think this 7-day is going to be big. I think this is the year that they have to do it big. And Gamble has kind of already alluded that this year's N7 is going to be a big one. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that because um yeah, just looking at what Gamble has said and you know, reading the tea leaves and stuff, this N7 day definitely it might not be big in terms of like, yeah, we're gonna get like a huge Shepard reveal or something, because like you had mentioned in the past, it's definitely that type of a reveal is gonna happen at a Game Awards or something like that. Um, and again, if EA was going to close down BioWare and not believe in the next Mass Effect, it would have already happened. So to me, 2025 feels like the year that we are going to finally get something, um, something significant, like akin to that kind of trailer that we got in 2020. Because now that Dragon Age is, you know, unfortunately on ice and stuff, it like Mass Effect is it, and yeah, who knows what type of tease we're gonna get, but I'm sure that we are gonna get something. I wanted to ask you, in terms of the teases and stuff that we do get on in 7 day, do you think that when production actually starts rolling and the devs are actually full on hard at work trying to get scenes done and stuff, do you think that each on 7 day we're going to get small glimpses of what's happening, or will they go radio silent?
That is an interesting question because I think that BioWare is such a weird studio because for me, the only other studio that I know of that does like a yearly day kind of the way that BioWare does is probably Naughty Dog, The Last of Us. They have like their Outbreak Day. And so they'll
Okay.
post like news and stuff like that and reveals. I don't know of any other studio that really does it the way that BioWare does. Does anybody else know
I have
of any
no idea.
that do that? Um, but so BioWare is almost like they're almost like pressured to show stuff every year, even if they're not ready, which is why I think they may be in a, weird situation where maybe they'll keep doing that every year and basically be like, Mass Effect is still going on. Please buy our merch. Because that's kind of what, every N7 day has kind of been.
Yeah.
But, um, but, or they could be like, we
uh,
got in 2023,
oh, sorry.
someone had to take the time, even if it was outsourced, they have to pay for that. And I'm pretty sure it was internal, but they have to pay for someone, you know, they have to pay for someone to do animating, make sure the scene is set up, the music. There are a lot of components to just a 20-second teaser,
Yeah.
and it costs money. Sorry, I'm coughing bad. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no. You're good.
Some of
It's
the cutouts may be me like trying to hold my breath.
yeah. I heard you cut out, and I was like, "Are you okay?" But yeah, I think you're yeah definitely hit it bang on. Okay, we're 5 minutes away from the conference call kind of starting. Um, do you want to do it? I'm not sure if I can have you on and the conference call on at the same time because there might be echoing. Um, but do
Oh,
you
I
want to
was
do it
gonna li
live
I
together?
wasn't gonna have us listen to the whole thing. There's no point.
Okay.
It's going to be 95% sports.
Yeah, yeah,
There's no
yeah.
point in us listening to it. Yeah.
Okay. Then I guess I'll keep it open and volume off. Or yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I've got it opened. And I'm also looking at some updates that people are posting in another Discord, but
Okay.
I don't think we should make people listen to it. It's not that interesting because if they mention BioWare, it's going to be such a short conversation. And I know that the narrative right now is like, oh, Veilguard did so bad,
Yeah,
and yeah, it didn't do great, but also their
that doesn't
sports
matter.
games are doing terrible. Um, I think their like soccer and football game are like down like 5% sales, or which is a huge amount that
Oh,
is
it's bad.
affecting their income. And if people actually read the reports, they would know that the sports games are the reason for EA's shortcomings right now, and
Yeah.
not good.
I know it's
Um,
it's definitely more the soccer stuff. I mean, instead of having a double digit growth, they're having a negative single digit decline. Like that tells you everything you need to
mhm.
know. And like that double digit growth isn't just, like, oh yeah, like maybe 10 million. Like, no, it's like 200 million to 300 million being lost and turning into a negative. Like that's why the stock price started tanking. I have a question here just from a member in the community by Samuel. Do you think with the tanking stock price, it will force BioWare to reveal more about Mass Effect early to encourage investor interest? I think that's a pretty,
Probably.
right? Like, that's why I think potentially something could happen here today. Like, it'll mainly be trying to solve the sports stuff, because again, that's where the money really lies for EA. But there might be a question asked by someone about, like, why is BioWare still open? And then maybe Andrew Wilson would tell us something, along the lines of, okay, this is why, this is what's happening with the next Mass Effect. I'm pretty sure he'll just repeat the exact same things he's been repeating about, yeah, veteran team, headed by da 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 da, all of these years of experience. And he might list some numbers in terms of how much Mass Effect pulls in via merch and all of those types of things. But yeah, I am curious if it'll speed up, like, by necessity, the game might have to come out sooner. Like, we don't know. Like, I personally don't know if the Veilguard had hit its 3 million sales, like, would that have bought more time for the next Mass Effect? I'm not too sure. But yeah, I have no idea. So
Yeah, I do think that's a possibility. Like either the scope could be trimmed, or, they were more than they need to. I really don't know. That I think these next few years watching Mass Effect is going to be very interesting. Also, I have two shout I want to do here in chat. Odo, thank you for the 10 euros. God, I hate that I don't know what symbol that is. I
I
feel really
know it's
stupid.
the same.
Mass Effect does rule. I totally agree. And
100%.
Brian, thank you again. And Brian says hashtag Team Miranda.
Okay, Brian also said Team Miranda over here. It would have been so funny if Brian said a certain team on your channel and then on my channel did like
Oh
Team
my god.
Tally instead, and it'd be like, what's going on, Brian?
Trying to get people to fight each other.
Yeah. Just trying to get our chats just riled up. But yeah, hashtag Team Liara, guys. Okay, like let's
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I don't hate any characters, but I would kill every single one of them for Liara. So I'm sorry.
I
Good
love how it
afternoon.
was just
My name is
something really
JL, and I will be your
neutral,
conference operator today.
and then I would kill
At this
everyone.
time, I would like to welcome
I would
everyone
kill
to the
all of them.
Electronic
Well,
Arts
except
third
maybe
quarter.
Legion. I really love Legion.
Oh no,
Um,
yeah, Legion. We needed more Legion
also,
content in Mass Effect 3, okay? Let's be honest. We needed all of it.
yeah, I know there's that mod that people use to like recruit Legion earlier in Mass Effect 2
Oh yeah.
because that was the plan originally, and there's like a bunch of cut content. And I'm pretty sure the mod like restores some of the dialogue and stuff. Um, but yeah, totally missed opportunity. We need more Geth.
100%.
Also,
Um
yeah, Ed says here in chat, yeah, Dragon Age Day was started by fans, and
that's true.
it's totally, I'd say at this point, it's like 25% fans and 5% BioWare now.
Yeah, unfortunately. I
Just
mean,
because I think that like the way that it is turned into a marketing thing now, they always post new merchandise, they do like a teaser. It's less of the fans now and more about marketing the game, which is why I'm expecting some this year.
mhm. No, yeah, it's we I guess I've started a little mini fire over on my in my chat because I decided to say who's everybody's, main romance interest and stuff. But also Team Liara is winning, just so you know. Thought you would enjoy that. But in terms of, because I just want to talk about a little bit of Mass Effect's next/5 juiciness. With the characters kind of being at the forefront here. If Shepard doesn't come back, like let's just take away the Shepard. Let's go with your theory, I guess. Let's go with the 700-year time jump. Do you think, in terms of the level of tease that we're gonna get, that it would include other characters beside Liara that could be returning? Like it'll be a level of, like, do we get an Arya? Do we get a Grunt? Or, like that style? What do you think?
Like if they would tease those things to lure people in, is that what you're
Yeah.
asking?
Yeah, for like an N7 day, like before potentially a larger announcement on like a Game Awards or something like that, Like, do you think that this is the year that, because like way back in N7 day 2023 when things were kind of looking up with the new N7 reveal, where everyone thought it was Shepard. I feel like the fact that they teased something like that, where they made us all think that we were about to see Shepard, that they might do some type of a character equivalent on an N7 day, just not Shepard. So, like, I guess the main question is, do you think we could get a beloved character reveal on an N7 day because of where we're at and because they need to hype things up and all of that?
I don't think people realize that N7 Day is actually like really tiny. It's just for the hardcore fans. It's not, um, the larger marketing of it doesn't really reach people unless they got like YouTube. Like I think the 2023 teaser has, gosh, maybe 1 million views. Let me actually double check.
I feel like it didn't even hit that, to be honest. I think it was maybe 300K. But yeah. Also, welcome on in, Bill. Sorry, I just got here. Was it already discussed about the layoffs? We had been kind of discussing it intermittently, but I have the EA conference call ongoing, but we're not going to do the audio because it's mainly going to be not about Mass Effect. So we'll let you know if something happens.
Yeah, the teaser from 2023 is it has 722,000 views, which the trailer from 2020 has 6 million views.
Hmm.
Um so the N7 day stuff, like yes, it gets, but when they post like pictures and blog posts or like concept, those are really only seen by the hardcore fans who are looking for it. You don't really stumble upon the BioWare blog. Um So when it comes to the N7 day stuff, only expect something large if it's like in an actual trailer. Um, but not like if it's just like concept art like that. And I just don't think that they're ready to do anything like that or have the resources to dedicate to doing something like that right now. Maybe maybe next year or the year after, but I think something like that would be revealed in a larger show.
No, for sure. I guess like it would be really funny if we, I mean, yeah, we would obviously, I guess I can't stop thinking about how they kind of just, we're pulling everybody's chain in terms of that reveal with the new N7 in 2023. Like it seemed like even though it's a smaller gathering and stuff, like I would love if they do something like if we just pretend that maybe they are going to reveal Shepard this year and it's going to be during a Game Awards. If they gave us a small hint of what's to come during an N7 day, like I think that would be very, very entertaining, especially if we have to wait a month because usually it's like November 7th and then Game Awards somewhere around December 7th. So, yeah, that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, I
um
just, I think also, sorry if you guys are clearing my throat and coughing. I am trying desperately not to, but I am struggling over here.
you
Um,
got this.
but I also think that they don't have their full set of writers yet. As far as we know, they just have Mary tomorrow. So would they really be able to show anything unless they have more of a solid foundation of what they're going to be having in the game? I think when you know, I think something also with Andromeda, they set expectations of an N7 and you, there's really no 7 in Andromeda in a relevant way that extends past like the first hour of gameplay. So I think they also have to be really careful of showing stuff that's not going to be in the game, which that's like kind of how game dev works to an extent. Like, you show stuff earlier and you're like, oh, this is the alpha version or whatever. But I think the way that they have marketed things in the past is just kind of can't do it again. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm. No, yeah, they can't pull a showing Alec Ryder in all of the lead up and marketing to Andromeda and then have him die in the first like 3 hours of the game.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and the
And that
person you're
pissed people
actually
off.
yeah, and the person you're actually playing not being an N7. Yeah, they definitely
Yeah,
can't do
like
something like that.
kind of why I see that teaser from 2023 and I'm like, that has to be our play character because they have set an expectation to an extent. I mean, yes, there's like a million questions and people, you know, don't have we don't really know 100% sure what's going on. But they've shown an N7. They're marketing this N7. We have concept art, the poster, which they sold as a poster. Like it's not just this N7 day teaser. It's already been made into merch. Um,
Yeah, with the
so I
coat.
think that yeah, and the coat they are already marketing N7 that they have shown in 2023 heavily. They've put the coat in the Dragon Age game. They have sold the coat. I mean, they are pushing it. So imagine if the game came out and like we didn't see the N7 or I mean, I think the playable character, but even at this point, I think it would be weird if that was like the antagonist or something with the way that they're selling this character's design
Mm.
in more than one way. So I just think they need to be really careful marketing, especially within 7 day. And yeah, I just think everybody is also hyper vigilant watching what BioWare does now. Um, so I just really hope that they are careful and cautious with marketing. Also, seeing what happened with Veilguard in that regard too.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, I was actually shocked because you had sent that one video on, EA's problems being much larger than just the Veil Guard and stuff. And I had no idea that that original trailer that we saw, like the reveal trailer that introduced all of the main people in the Veil Guard, like the companions, that wasn't actually made by BioWare. That was an EA, uh, I don't even know, an EA production, I guess. And yeah, that explains a lot because I remember watching it for the first time and being like, "What is happening?" And who knows if something like that could happen for Mass Effect? Like maybe something that debuts at a Game Awards or at a Summer Game Fest or at an Xbox, what have you, is not even how like the BioWare devs want to present it. It's how EA wants to present it, which in and of itself has so many different complications and problems. So
Yeah, they're really messing with stuff. And we've seen, evidence of that, especially with that trailer. Also, let me look at chat here because I see some stuff. Brian, thank you for the $25. And Brian says, Kayla, don't need to worry about BioWare, would never let anything happen to Liara. She is she's the one who can't die. Everyone else can die multiple ways. Okay, neither Joker or Conrad can die. Seriously, how are they more important? Well, I mean, Conrad can die. But and Liara can die too if you have the worst possible, like everybody can die if you have the worst possible state. But I oh, and also I definitely think they would kill off Liara in Mass Effect 5. I think they would. I don't think BioWare has any problem killing off legacy characters. I I don't think so. Um
I would be so like, Callie, you wouldn't even understand. Like I would call you and just start screaming if that happened.
oh, same. Oh, I'd be devastated. I would be absolutely I think that if that 700-year time jump, which by the way is not necessarily my theory, but it's just a theory that you know, that I base theories on dependent on what Liana Rupert said that she
Mhm.
confirmed that Mass Effect 5 is in place 700 years in the future. So I know people don't like when I say that that's when I think the game is happening, but I don't say it just because that's what I want. I don't want that. I want the game to take place years after Mass Effect 3, but you know, I'm not a writer.
Just jump on board the train. Jump on board the unhinged train.
I can't do it. I can't set my hopes up, you
No,
know.
that's completely
I
fine.
gotta prepare for that 700-year time jump. And listening to Liara talk about her time with Shepard and her friends who have all passed,
Oh,
and maybe looking at the time capsule and seeing memories of Shepard and then sobbing my eyes out and just being absolutely miserable. That is what I expect if
don't
the
do this
game
to
takes
me.
place 700 years into the future.
Don't do this to me,
Um,
Kala. That's just that literally you said it and I was like, "Oh no, that could totally happen." Like
yeah,
I
that
can see both
if
sides, but again,
mhm.
that does seem more likely, right, at this point. But yeah, I would be destroyed.
Also, Windwalker, thank you so much for the 100 euros. That is extremely kind of you. And Windwalker says for a new mic, a line of red sand, and Blu-ray of Venia. That is so kind of you. Thank you
Let's
very much.
go. That's awesome.
I think I am gonna have to get a new mic because or like troubleshoot my computer. No, something is going on, and
I
I'm
think it's the comp. Yeah, put that toward the comp because your desktop.
the
It might
struggle
be.
of technology, man. I swear I can't catch a break. My graphics card has been, I think, fan is going out, and it's been
Yeah.
making this terrible sound. Oh my god! And the prices of graphic cards are about to be insane. I want to get one of the new ones, but I'm assuming that it's gonna be absolutely miserable. So
Skyrocketing, yeah.
not a great time to buy new tech right now.
No kidding. Or to buy anything really.
Yeah, yeah, that
Anywhere.
too.
But yeah, I kind of wanted to ask cuz you said like you think that there's going to be a 700-year time jump, but that's not actually what you want. I kind of wanted to just
No,
create like a
no.
whole bunch of polls, maybe on your channel and my channel, and just kind of see like what does the community actually want versus think, you know? 'Cause, like, I feel like with some of my theories, like, I come up with the theory because I think it's likely, but some of it isn't what I want to happen, you know? Like, I'm not out here being like, "Yeah, let's go to an alternate universe." Like, that would totally be, and grab a shepherd that's not ours. Like, it's not what I necessarily want to happen. It's just what I think is going to happen, you know? So, yeah, I kinda wanna do a little I don't know, like, do you wanna start with the time jump first? Or what do you
I've actually
think versus want?
I've I have never made a before. I just found the option.
Oh, no.
So I did just I made one asking people when they think the next Mass Effect will take place. And I asked shortly after Mass Effect 3 or 700 years after Mass Effect 3. So we'll
Okay,
see. Also,
one
someone
sec.
asked if Andromeda is worth playing. And I think Andromeda is worth playing, but I think Andromeda is worth playing in a more linear way. Like if you focus on the main story, I think the main story has some good elements, and I think the lore will connect to Mass Effect 5, but there is a lot of filler in that game. So I don't recommend 100%ing that game, which is what I did. And by the end, I was like, oh, I'm really interested in the main story, but I don't want to play this game again.
Yeah, I 99%ed it because one of the missions got locked behind, like, something I forgot to do during, um, whatchamacallit, it was a plot mission of some kind, and I forgot to click on one thing, and then I got locked out of it, but hang on one second, they just mentioned BioWare in the call, so I'm gonna unmute
Okay,
that and
yeah,
see what they're
if you
talking
want
about.
to. Okay.
One sec.
While we regularly manage these factors within a live service, their combination had a compounding effect.
Can you put
Faster
your
than usual engagement
sound
churn,
in the stream
coupled with
or?
lower acquisition, created
Um,
pressure on lower funnel
it's
performance.
on my stream right
Our
now.
live service model's greatest strength is our ability to experiment, tweak, respond,
Shoot, how do I
and
get a
deliver
preview?
changes for our players.
I'll send you the
Our
link.
January 16th gameplay update, launched ahead of our marquee Team of the Year event, is a prime example of this adaptability. Since the gameplay release, we've seen a significant turnaround in momentum, with competitive cohorts trending towards prior year
God, they're
levels,
talking about live
with net
service
bookings
models. I'm gonna
up
shoot
year over year
myself.
during the
Yeah,
event.
legit. I'm just like,
We remain confident in the sustainable long-term growth of global football
tell me
as
if
we
that
continue
works
to
for you.
refine the experience, expand engagement opportunities, and build toward an even brighter future for the franchise. Within global football for Q3, FC
They're
Mobile saw
Are they
double-digit
done?
increase in new
I
players,
don't think it's anything to
engagement,
do
and
with
monetization
BioWare
year
right
over
now, so I'm
year.
just gonna mute it again.
FC Online was up
Um,
slightly
Yeah,
as
I
strong
think
promotional
they
content
said
drove
nothing of
monetization.
relevance.
The
it's
expansion
just
of our
so
American football community
disappointing.
has continued to see strength,
You can just tell, like,
with
somebody's just
weekly
reading this off
active
a script.
users
Okay,
and total
one
unique
sec. Let
spenders
me.
up double-digit
I
Yeah,
have
sorry
year-over-year
guys.
multiple
in the
We
microphones
quarter.
open.
were
In April,
Okay.
Atharia was also listening to the EA earnings call, which
Yeah.
they basically said nothing.
They didn't say anything right now. It's
Yeah.
just that I got
But
updates from Blaze in my stream said that it was they had mentioned BioWare. So let me just go check socials, and I also wanted to put up this time jump question. What time period do you want in Mass Effect next? What was yours again?
surprisingly,
Over 700?
I yeah, I asked people when they think the next game is going to take place, and surprisingly, 700 years after Mass Effect 3 is winning.
Well, I'm curious because I say differently on my channel, right? So I feel like it might just be we're really biasing our audiences.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm sure this
Let's see.
reflects because I honestly I do get a lot of comments being like, "Oh, I won't play Mass Effect 5 unless Shepard is there." But I also get a
Yeah,
lot of people that don't want Shepard to return. Like I see a lot of
100%.
people, yeah, being like, I don't want to see Shepard return. Shepard's story is done. Let Shepard rest. I see that
Oh, I
pretty
see
often
that. It's
also.
like a copy paste. Like I swear there are a few people that have a copy paste of Let Shepard Rest, and they save it for whenever I make a video on Shepard returning. It's so funny. It's like the most used thing. But yeah,
I mean,
I'm
I
interested.
do think that there is a lot of people, I think something that is also important when we talk about what we want for Mass Effect 5. We are fans. Like, I didn't play Mass Effect until the Legendary Edition in 2021.
Same.
And I know you said you played like last year?
2020. I played in August of 2022, and I
2022.
finished. I finished on Jan 1st of 2023. Yeah.
So, yeah, we are newer fans, and there is definitely a lot of people who have been fans since 2007 who maybe they do feel like, they had enough time with Shepard, even though I like how Shepard's story ended. I think there are a significant number of original trilogy fans, and I'm not saying all of them are like this, but I do think there are a decent amount of Mass Effect fans who played Shepard's story when it came out, and they're ready for something new. And like
That's
I
the
said, I see
thing.
that in my chat a lot.
Yeah, no, that's definitely it. Where I think I haven't actually made polls on this on my channel, but it feels like whenever I release a video on like here's the latest Shepherd theory, there's always a lot of likes on a comment that's like, no, I don't want Shepherd back. But then whenever I make an actual like channel poll on like what do you want? Like do you want Shepherd to return? It's always a very small percentage of people that don't want Shepherd to return. Like I would say not small, like very small, but I would say like in the if I just based things off the comments alone, I would say I would have thought that maybe 60 to 65% of people don't want Shepard back, but the number's closer to like 30% of people that don't want Shepard back. Whenever I make just a generic poll. So yeah, I found that really interesting. I think that also with that a lot of people who comment probably are just, have been with the franchise longer, have been with the franchise since 2007, or just in the 2010s when things were coming out. So, yeah, it is really interesting. I think maybe what my next poll will be is do you want Shepard back? And also like when did you join? And it'll just be like a yes, I want Shepard back and I joined like prior to the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and then, vice versa. Like no, I don't want Shepard back and I joined. Cuz I think that would be very telling because like you said, I think that the majority if you had time in 2012 to process, the Mass Effect 3 endings and then you had Andromeda 5 years later and now you're still waiting on another Mass Effect game and it's been what 13 years since the Mass Effect 3 endings, like you have totally if that was me and I played in 2012, I would be like, yeah, don't like I have had time to process Shepard's death in my mind or whatever happened after Destroy, like I've come up with my own story. I've read the fanfic, like but I think that for the Legendary Edition people that maybe there's a little bit more of, hey, I just played this. Like I would be okay with anything, right? Which I also think potentially, I mean, I'm going to make a video about this because it's one of those conspiracy theory videos that are staples on my channel. But I feel like because they released the Legendary Edition again around the time that they released the trailer where Liara is picking up that N7 and you're like, "Oh man, is it Shepard?" I feel like it could be a master plan by Gamble of, "Hey, we wanted to bring those feelings back, for a new generation of fans." And yeah, I'll get into it more in the video because like there's a lot of moving parts on that, but yeah, I don't know. I think that I'm in the camp if I want Shepard to return, but again, it's because I pretty much just played the game compared to a lot of people, right? So yeah. Also
Yeah,
over
no,
here, my
I feel the
poll
way.
is
Oh, sorry.
overwhelmingly winning with 2190, but like again, super biased over here. Like I've been pushing 2190 on my channel.
Um, okay, few things I gotta go over. I'm looking at the transcript of what has been said so far in the day,
Oh,
and they
can you
really
send that?
haven't. Sorry, it's in a Discord that I'm in. Someone is
Oh shoot.
is
Okay. Sorry, I thought it was like an
doing
article.
like a live. They're posting it. They didn't say much about Dragon Age. I mean, they didn't say anything about Massive, but this is what they have alluded to. I don't think the other things are really worth mentioning. It basically says that, you know, the market is very competitive for single player RPG, and
Mhm.
Veilguard didn't need it, but whatever. Um, it says this. Uh, where second, we've revised our expectations to include contributions from Dragon Age. Oh wait, where did it go? This is the part that's probably relevant. The game's financial performance highlights the industry landscape and reinforces the importance of our actions to reallocate resources towards our most significant and highest potential opportunities. So they said that right after speaking about Dragon Age. So I'm assuming, um, you know, this is referring to Mass Effect. As of right now, there's still some Q&As. There's still like the Q&A left. But as of right now, really all that we've got of Mass Effect, even like slightly mentioned. And I have some things in chat, so give me 1 second.
No problem. You go ahead. Yeah. I think I'll just deafen. I'm trying to do some things over here as well. I'll be back. Okay, I'm just trying to update this thing. So basically what has happened if you're just joining, we have the EA conference call open, but they're not actually mentioning anything about BioWare, probably because, you know, the shareholders actually want to hear about the EA Sports FC25, which is, you know, the the actual revenue generating game with their microtransactions and yada yada. So yeah, I just want to write this up. So the main thing that Kala is mentioning from the transcript she's hearing from a Discord that she's in is that EA is reallocating resources to best basically revenue opportunities. So I'm just typing out here, like, i.e., that's not going to be with BioWare because it's not a live service game. And let me just change this. Where's my notepad? Let me just get this right there. Okay. And then I'll let you guys know. Waiting for updates. How is Discord? Okay, so yeah, that's basically the only major thing that's kind of happened here. So I guess I'll take a bit of your guys' thoughts here before jumping back in with Kala. But yeah, it's still going on, and I think that the EA earnings call will be over. It usually lasts about 30 minutes, but since like you know, the sky literally started falling with the EA stock, who knows, it could last longer, but we'll see. Okay, let's go with, oh, thank you so, Brian. Brian is just absolutely just being so generous in the chat today. Thank you so much for the $25. Really, really appreciate it. I think it's fair that most want their Shepard and love interest back. Just so y'all know, when I play FemShep with Liara. Let's go. No, definitely. I'm looking forward to my Miranda playthrough, by the way. I'm currently still trying to slog through the M-Shep Tally love interest this time around. But again, I'm just going through the Veil Guard, so I haven't even gotten back to that. And I'm probably going to jump into Andromeda. So that's gonna get in the way as well. So yeah, there's a lot going on. There's definitely a lot going on. But yeah, I love that, and thank you so much again for that dono. RP Games saying, love the channel. You are my source for all things Mass Effect. I have to go watch the Grand Crits, so take care and have a great stream. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, RP Games. And honestly, like, anyone that's in here, even if you're just lurking and stuff like that, like, I really appreciate all the support. And yeah, like I said, like, I joined Mass Effect super late. Like, I finished off Andromeda, like, all caught up with all the games in like March of 2023. And I think I launched my channel in like May, because Mass Effect consumed everything and all of my waking thoughts and all of my theorizing brain cell ability. So yeah, I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, by the way, please do go follow and subscribe to Kala, because like, legit, like, she was there before I was here. You know, like, she is the OG and provides so much good information. So yeah, I'm glad that I've muted so she can't hear, because she'll just be like, stop promoting me and stuff. But please do go follow her as well. I think I have the link for her channel in the description, but let me just grab that for you guys. Make your guys' lives a little bit easier. Where is it? I think I can grab this one. YouTube, Cal Elizabeth. But yeah, I really appreciate it. Like, legit. It this is my passion, you know? Like, this is my passion. So I absolutely love that other people are just as passionate. And also here is the link here for Kala's channel. So yeah, go give her some love and go subscribe over there as well. I'm sure you probably all are subscribed. And also, I guess just because we're on the topic, if you want, you can also come join the Discord community that me and Kala share. We have a joint Discord, massively affected server. Let me try to grab that link for you guys as well. In order to have access to it, you need to become a member of my Patreon. I think the lowest tier is about like $3 US. Let me just pop that in there as well. And yeah, we got like polls about everything in there. We had a poll about like cats versus dogs yesterday. I figured out how to do a poll for the first time. And yeah, if you guys have like theories and stuff, like you guys can just pop it in there. And I guess like you saw in one of my videos, I might even feature it on the channel. So let me just see. How do I? Okay, I think this is it. This is the one. Go check it out. And yeah, I'd love to have you in there. Like, it is honestly an awesome community, and I hope that it just continues to grow as we approach N7 Day and all of that. So yeah, if you're into like, I think Kala also has channels in there for Cyberpunk and a bunch of Dragon Age stuff that I can't click because I'm not caught up on Veilguard yet. But yeah, I'd love to have you in the community. Honestly, it's a really good community over there. Okay, let me rejoin with Kala here. See if there's any more juicy info on this conference call. And here we go.
Find out. I think this year we'll find more out about the TV show. I think we will find out more about the game on N7 Day, but I really don't know what the next few years looks like. BioWare is a single game studio. They're a single IP studio now. Will they even celebrate Dragon Age Day at this point? Like, I imagine if they were to post stuff for Dragon Age Day, the comments would be about how Dragon Age is dead. So I'm really interested to see what Dragon Age Day and what N7 Day look like at BioWare moving forward.
Hello, I'm also back.
Oh, hello, I'm back.
Hello. Yeah, I just heard you chatting about Dragon Age there. I am slogging through the Veilguard, not because I don't enjoy it. Like every time I log in, I've been doing like the extras, like grabbing chests and like fighting a bunch of random stuff. But yeah, I really should probably finish that because I want to create some unhinged theories about Dragon Age stuff. I feel like there's a lot there. There's a lot more lore.
I recommend game story and the ending. The ending is so good. The ending, well, you'll have to play it and then we can talk about it afterwards. But
yes,
yeah, JT, thank you for the $10, and I want to comment on what JT is saying here. The original team went on to do a game called Exodus. I checked it out and it looks all right. This might be a good fix for us in case a new Mass Effect doesn't hold up or if it doesn't count. And yes, Exodus has ex-BioWare devs, but they are, I mean, it's not the entirety of the people who created Mass Effect, but they do have Drew Karpyshyn, they have Chad Robinson, James Olin, who are all BioWare veterans, and Exodus is coming at the perfect time. I have heard, like I've seen on Reset Era, that Exodus is to come out this year. That's what I've seen on. I haven't heard that. Like, I don't know at Exodus. But that's what I've seen people post on Reset. Who knows if that's true or not? That's just what I've seen. And if this game comes out this year, if it's got the mature tone, if it's got the steamy roses, the kind of darkness that I think people want, the like more adult leaning content, Exodus could really show up at the perfect time when everybody is either mourning BioWare or is just not so BioWare right now. And I hope that Exodus is what everybody thinks it's going to be. And I mean, if any of you guys have been following their website, they post a bunch of short stories and cinematic, and they're gorgeous, and the short stories are really good. They're really, really good. And the Archimedes engine also came out this year. It's also very good. And I think that if the game is like that, Exodus is going to be a huge hit. I've been following Exodus since it had the trailer back in December of 2023. And I'm just so excited for it. And I really do think it's coming at the perfect time to fill that Mass Effect void and kind of that like disappointment that people have in Veilguard and whatever RPGs that, like Starfield. So I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I think that Exodus will 100% be the fix. I'm hoping that that we're all like just our sci-fi fix, our kind of adjacent Mass Effect fix. Because yeah, I think that a lot of studios are coming out with sci-fi stuff though as well, right? Because there was that intergalactic
Well, they
as
were,
well.
but Casey Hudson and Mac Walters Studios
Yes.
both had their fundings pulled from NetEase, and those studios are dead.
Yeah, no, that I think that's also something that I wanted to chat about in terms of not even just with like studio closures and funding getting paused, but in terms of new IPs coming out like an Exodus, it's probably not going to new IPs aren't going to be successful unless they have things like, like Archetype Entertainment has, where they can say, "Hey, we're kind of the old BioWare. We're part of like we have the Drew Karpyshyn. Uh, we have this huge name for a writer that kind of worked with a Peter F. Hamilton on creating this world. Because if you think about it, like already the game industry is such a mess in terms of layoffs and stuff like that. Can you imagine what's going to happen now that there's so much uncertainty surrounding things like, whatever's happening in the broader Western world and prices going up everywhere? Like new studios and new IPs are not going to be what people flock to with their money. Like we're all just going to have less dollars to spend, and unless we have a good enough reason to spend it on a unless you have that star power, like you have those names of, yeah, these are all the developers that we brought over from these brands that or not brands, but from these studios that you know of, then new IPs aren't going to do as well in the next, little bit. So yeah, I think that Exodus, out of all the new IPs that are coming out, is definitely going to be up there. But in terms of getting our kind of sci-fi esque, fixes, for lack of a better word, I feel like, I mean, there's Exodus and then there's Intergalactic. Like those are the ones potentially whatever Larian's working on if it's a sci-fi, So yeah, it's the gaming industry is only only going to get a little bit more it's going to shrink a lot more, I think, because of what's happening in the broader world.
Yeah, and I think people need to follow. If there's a writer that you like, if there's a designer that you like, follow their work. I think that's why a lot of people are interested in Exodus, because they know that Drew Karpyshyn is the lead writer, and
Mhm.
people are familiar with his work from both Mass Effect and Star Wars. And when you have devs that are moving around, their work is more important than this name. And yeah, Exodus, I think Exodus is going to be amazing. I think Exodus is going to come out of. Also, I've got the trailer up here. I've got like
Oh yeah,
a
I
bunch of
want
the
to.
collage stuff. I think Exodus is going to come out of nowhere. Like it's not have a huge following and just surprise people. Um, I'm really hoping that it's unique, and I'm hoping that it's polished, and I hope we're getting new studios that people want to believe in, to support. Um, so yeah, also, I'm a huge CD Projekt Red fan now. I have started Witcher 3, and I am I'm on hour 400 of Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk is it, I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of pushed Mass Effect as my second favorite game ever, just because I not stop playing Cyberpunk. It is so fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
The amount and the world building is amazing. If you guys have not played Cyberpunk, like it totally surprised me and took totally surprised me. I was caught off guard. It is so good. The story characters, it's amazing. And Cyberpunk has this world that has been built upon since the 80s with the table RPG books.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much I love lore. I love game lore. So I've been reading all of those since I played Cyberpunk last year. I used to read regular books before I go to bed. Now I read the history of the net or what happened
Yeah.
to Rach Bartmoss, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really recommend Cyberpunk. I'm also excited for Dawn Walker, which is from ex CD Project Red devs. Um, I really think we're at such an interesting time with the video game industry. We are about to see a lot of developers who have left studios and are making new ones where they can be free to do what they do. And we know that that's part of the reason why Casey Hudson's studio. And we still don't know where Casey Hudson has ended up. Um, if he's even found, his studio just shut down. So yeah. Um, Also, Brian says I think Exodus will be cool. I do too, Brian, and I'm really hoping that it is. And JT, thank you for the $5. And JT says I can see a lot of massive Exodus. Oh, absolutely. The mass relay looks different. The Omni Blade, among things I noticed. Oh, I like even the concept of silicates. It's in your mind and feeds you bad thoughts. And I really do think that they're gonna have their own Paragon Renegade system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I hope Exodus is good. I hope these studios that are popping up are successful. And I really think that we need to follow the devs that we want to experience work and care less about the title of the studio.
Yeah. No, I could not agree more. And I feel like I want to create like maybe a small Google Doc that I can share somewhere, either, in our Discord or on the channel or something. Cause I feel like maybe a lot of people want to do that, like fans of a certain game want to know like who created this and oh, who voiced this and all that. But I feel like maybe people just don't have the time. So I feel like I'm going to try to do something on my end and create a doc for, all the devs from, maybe the BioWare devs. Those are the ones I'm most familiar with. But yeah, definitely if you can though, and like you can just scroll through the credits, you can easily search it up online. Yeah, there's a lot of really great devs out there that are, yeah, I want to follow where they're going to go next, like I'm curious where Sylvia Feketa Cootie's going to go, I want to know where John Dombrow's going to go, like it's something
I
where,
believe, I think Dombrow is at Sucker now.
sorry, which one? I missed that.
John Dombrow, I'm pretty sure Sucker Punch now.
Oh, Sucker Punch. Okay.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah. I guess I need to like figure out more about that side of things. But also just to touch on, like you just promoting Cyberpunk. I feel like I'm still trying to recover from all the game recommendations you gave me like last year.
Oh,
Cuz
I'm so
you
sorry.
were like, "Hey, have you heard of Dragon Age?" And I'm like, "No, what's Dragon Age?" And I'm still trying to get through Dragon Age, Kala. Like I'm still I'm on the Veil Guard. I've gone through Origins 2 Inquisition and now the Veilguard, but I will say Cyberpunk's going to be near the top of my list. I have not actually
It's so
touched
good.
the
I
game yet.
think Cyberpunk, and someone asked more Cyberpunk content, and I'm going through. I actually have this script that's 20 pages long where I'm just
Whoa.
gushing about how I love it, but It's mostly rambling, so I'm trying to like make it more concise. But I really think that Cyberpunk is like almost narrative perfection.
Oh, wow.
Main story is so fucking good. I I keep trying to play it. Like I just want to scream about how much I love Cyberpunk. I'm in my fourth playthrough right now, and I love the endings. The all of the endings. You know, I think as BioWare fans, we're so used to the way BioWare does endings, which like they're a little different, but you know, they're not different. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
Even like, you know, but Cyberpunk's endings, they are so different. All like they
Okay.
are so different. I mean, I was all of them, and they are just so freaking different. They did a really good job with the endings, and um I love everything about Cyberpunk. I have criticisms of, but I highly recommend it for someone who is wanting like a narrative heavy, open world, dark, mature, complex series that has really good combat, and is just a really unique game. It's really good.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's definitely near the top of my list. Over here, Gideon's tab says Cyberpunk endings rip your soul out. Oh boy, yeah, that's definitely a solid recommendation
But
for
they're
that.
but they're so good.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oh no, for
yeah,
sure.
there's no the tagline of Cyberpunk is there's no happy endings in Night City. And there's something so compelling about despair
Mm.
and tragedy and grief, and I it is so so good. So everybody, I know this is a Mass Effect stream, but everybody play Cyberpunk and then tell me what you think.
It just on the title, just all things Mass Effect, and then it just randomly turns into just gushing about our favorite games in the stream, like Exodus, Cyberpunk. I love it. Yeah, I think that. I mean, oh yeah, somebody's asking like I should stream it. I mean, would I be crying
Oh,
during the
you
stream though? I
should.
feel like I would just be crying the whole time, but I'll do it. I just it's just
I
gonna be
think
me
that
raging. I'll stream it and then I'll get Kala to randomly come on and be like, "No, you're doing this wrong. Go over here," and just be like,
no, I'll just tell you some like really interesting lore because the books make the game so much better because they're all canon. All the books are canon. Well, like 99% of the books are canon to the world. Like the
right.
game is on this world, and so there's a million connections there, and it's so good. When you do play it,
Hmm.
do you like anime by chance?
Yes, I love it.
Okay, you should watch also this is turned into a cyberpunk stream, I'm
This is
sorry.
totally a
You have to watch Cyberpunk Runners before you play the game.
oh
Um,
before. Okay, I'm actually gonna make
they're
a note of that.
yeah, they did some cool like crossover stuff, and even though the show kind of hits better after you've played it, it is still real like yeah, but yes. And there's also like another cyberpunk animated show coming out. There's also a live action show or movie come out. There's a lot of good reasons to get invested in Cyberpunk right now. It is absolutely thriving, and everybody needs to play it.
I'm here for it. I'm here for because yeah, like I think like Lewis said in the chat here, I never got the game because they released it unfinished. I feel like I wasn't even aware of what had kind of happened with all that, but that was the main. Like I was releasing Mass Effect videos early on in the channel, and for some reason, a lot of people were saying how Cyberpunk, like they were talking about how Cyberpunk was just being re-released or something with a bunch of updates and how it was getting better. So I'm glad that they eventually, uh fixed whatever needed fixing and all
Ye-
that. But also just
no,
to
they. Oh, sorry. Go
sorry,
ahead.
just a quick update about their EA earnings call.
It's
Nippon
over.
During
Yeah.
said that it's over, and it was the last question was just about football. So essentially, guys,
Yeah.
we got absolutely no updates on BioWare at all, which we weren't really expecting. So yeah, that's all there is there. Let me close this one up. You go
Also,
ahead.
to keep gushing about Cyberpunk, Legendary Yobi mentions that there's a lot of Cyberpunk fan movies on YouTube. Yeah, the way that fans have like taken Cyberpunk and made their own movies and have absolutely like revolutionized the virtual photography scene is so impressive. I never cared about virtual photography, but Cyberpunk is so gorgeous and the photo mode is so good that sometimes I log on just to take pictures and
Oh
like
wow.
I'll open the game and spend like 2 hours in photo mode. It is they have spent and I have to give the studio so much credit because they could have abandoned the game. They could have been like, "Well, that's that. Let's to make the game better and to give the game the justice that it deserves." It's so good now. It's and they're still doing it. They just had an update like I think like 2 weeks ago or something. So,
Awesome.
very impressive. Like very good studio.
No, yeah, I'm definitely. It's on the list. It's on the list after I finish recovering from the last franchise you told me to play. I'm gonna I'm gonna jump into Cyberpunk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Whichever comes first, either Cyberpunk or Exodus. We will see by the end of 2025. And also, I'm so sorry. Chavi says I'm still waiting for the Andromeda streams to continue. You know what? I was thinking about maybe doing the Andromeda streams in the Discord because I just don't have any time to like go live and stuff like that. So I might just do that in the Discord in the massively affected server. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, so it's coming up on the top of the hour here. And I do have to get out of here at 3. So is there anything last minute that you wanted to discuss, Kala? Or because yeah,
I
nothing
just want
major
to
happened
reiterate like
in the call.
yeah, there was nothing. I just want to reiterate like, devs are people. They had their jobs taken from them. They weren't even given the decency of the layoffs being acknowledged in the post, which I think is just very cruel.
Yeah.
And it's typical corpo speak. And then, Jason Schreier's he says that even getting Veilguard out the door is a miracle considering how fucked the development was. And it was. Um, people can say whatever they want about it, but I hope that one day maybe Jason Schreier will do like a behind the scenes because Mark Dar talked about how so many times the resources came from Dragon Age because EA didn't care. His latest videos about it have been so revealing. It's so frustrating and it's a shame Dragon Age is in the situation that it's in now and it makes me so sad. Um it is what it is. Also, this is the Exodus trailer. If you haven't checked out this, go check out Exodus. I think it's going to be coming out this year. They have so much stuff on their website. And yeah, Lazaire, I would love out of troubled development as well. And I hope that Mass Effect gets that moving forward. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
And Brian says Cyberpunk versus Mass Effect is toss. Exodus might join them. Oh, I totally agree. I hope that Exodus sneaks in there and like takes my favorite spot. We'll see though. Fingers crossed. And also just everybody, thank you so much for listening to my mic today. My coughing. I really appreciate it. I know I sound terrible, but my voice and my technology. So thank you so much for just being here and listening. I really, really appreciate it.
Honestly, Kala, thank you for hanging in there because I know that you're not 100% and running to grab another mic and all that. Like, we definitely appreciate it. And as always, again, like, thank you so much for doing this stream with me and for everybody in the chat, both chats. Thank you guys so much for being here. And wish we could have had a better update for you, like maybe an actual update. But I guess this is just a quick little check in on all things Mass Effect and Cyberpunk, of course. Just
Yeah.
everybody go play Cyberpunk. This has accidentally turned into a Cyberpunk stream, but yeah. Again, thank you, Kala, for the chat, and yeah, I think I'll wrap it up here.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you again. Remember, go check out Exodus on their website, play Cyberpunk, follow the devs that you want to follow, and we will see you next time.
Definitely.
Guys, yes, we'll see you for Mass Effect in 4 years.
Okay, well, maybe
In the
not.
meantime,
Hopefully in 7 day at least.
Yeah. But in the meantime, Atharia and I will both be making videos of theory updates, so make sure to go check out her channel as well. I will link her YouTube in my chat here in a second. Make sure to go give her a follow, guys.
Yes, I have already popped yours in. But everybody go subscribe over to Kala. She is literally the fastest person and dropping the news and stuff like that. And if you don't like my theories, you'll love hers because it's the complete opposite, basically. So definitely go check that out.
It is true. It is true. They are the audit, and that's
yeah.
okay.
Also, Kala, I'm just popping my Patreon in and just kind of promoting that both Kala and I share a Discord. So if you guys want access to that, then definitely join one of our Patreons. And yeah, we have an awesome community in there, and we'd love to have you guys. So we can chat all things Mass Effect, Cyberpunk, Exodus, whenever it comes out. It's a really great community in there.
Yeah, thank you all so much. I'm going to end it here. And again, make sure to go follow Atharia on her channel, Paragon7. Okay, thanks
you,
everybody.
guys.
See you next
Thank you.
time. Bye.